Greetings and welcome again to another episode of Healing for the Family. Can you believe it? We are on season 2 of Healing for the Family. Thank you so much for those who have joined us for season 1. This is still a podcast we hope will redeem the place of the family as the most basic unit of society. My name is Olunga. I have the privilege today to be joined by a friend of mine who does amazing work for families. If you know anything about family therapy, marriage and family therapy, this is one of the persons, one of the people I know who is good at this work. Pastor Marion Duo, she's many things. I will let her introduce herself in a moment, but she and I are going to have a very good conversation about breaking the cycles of intergenerational trauma in families. Pastor Marion, karibu sana.
Asante.
It's good to have you.
Thank you.
Good to have you. Welcome to Healing for the Family.
Thank you.
I've been looking forward to having you on this podcast. When I was thinking about this podcast and thinking about guests I should have over, I thought of you first. So you're actually my first guest. I've not had any guest on there.
Thank you.
Thank you for agreeing to accepting our invitation. And I hope that this is just the beginning. I see us doing a lot of conversations together as we try to speak healing into families. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Why don't you begin by just telling us a bit about yourself, about the work that you do, what is marriage and family therapy, what is Farm Hope, the organization that you lead. Just tell us a bit about that.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor. My name is Marion Thuo, as you have heard. I go by other names.
Yeah.
Mutweri is one of them, my surname.
Yeah.
And I am a Christian. I am born again.
Amen.
I have a personal relationship with Jesus, and it is not induced by anyone
Yeah.
or anything. And it's a ground for me that I build my life on and my work also. And I am married. It's going to 17 years this year. Been married 17 years.
You don't look it. You and your husband don't look it.
Oh, we thank God. And we have 3 children. Ethan, who's 11, Hope, who's 9, and Elvis, who's turning 7 this year. And that's me. I run Farm Hope, psychotherapy and consultancy. This is an organization that intends to support families' mental well-being. And when I talk about family mental well-being, I mean the individual, the couple, the family, that includes children and adolescents.
So it's wholesome therapy for families and individuals as well.
Yes.
So you don't just do family work?
No.
Okay.
I also work with individuals, but from a systemic perspective. Work with individuals knowing that they come from a family.
They come from a family.
They come from a society.
Yeah.
They have different systems that influence their mental well-being. So as we work with them, regardless of whatever mental problem they have, we want to see how the systems in which they belong can be a support to their well-being.
You said individuals come from systems that influence their mental well-being.
Yes.
What are those? What are some of those systems that influence the mental well-being of individuals?
I'll start with the family. The family has about 4 systems in itself. We have the parental system. There's the couple, okay? There are 2 people that make up a system where they are supposed to make certain decisions for the family as individuals. but also together. There's a sibling, the sibling subsystem.
Yeah.
Actually, I see siblings who have conflicts.
Yes.
And they are willing to sit down and talk, or who've experienced loss.
Yeah.
And they want to work through different aspects. We also talk about extended family. Families have conflicts, especially in this side of the world, to deal with land.
Yes, to deal with land.
Yeah.
To deal with so many
death,
so
where are
many
we going
things,
to bury this person?
Yeah.
What is going on? Divorce, separation.
Yeah.
So extended family. So all those are systems.
Yeah.
But also we have work. We have
employment,
church groups. Yes,
church,
work, employment,
church groups.
Church groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot
and
of people.
Community.
I hear a lot of people this day talk about church hurt and church wounds, and we those of us who work at church take those very very lightly. I mean, what do you mean church wounds?
Yeah.
Because we don't we all of us, we are working for Jesus, so and we say things like this is not a perfect place. All of us are looking for Jesus, while at that time just doing horrible things that hurt people, and we don't recognize that people are getting hurt in the process.
Maybe it's because probably we have not understood what their hurt is.
Yeah.
Because hurt can be mild, but it can also be extreme to abuse. And I think some of our communities have been abusive, even in church.
Yeah.
And some churches have even separated people from other systems of life, which have been hurtful.
Yeah.
When you find a mother who has given her time and her life to the church and left the children to fend for themselves, that can be very hurtful.
Yeah.
When you have to give all your money to the church to the minister and live and serve in their house without pay, that's abusive.
That's abusive.
Yeah.
I would be abusing my wife as a pastor if all my time is spent in church, that I don't prioritize spending time with my wife. I don't prioritize family issues.
Time,
So church would be a place where a system that contributes to the lack of mental well-being for its members in some way as well.
I'm a pastor's wife.
You're a pastor's wife. You know what I'm speaking about.
We are also unreached people groups.
There's an unreached people group.
Unreached people group.
Among pastors' wives.
Yes.
Yeah, wow. The work that you do, family therapy.
Yes.
Is this, I was asking you a little earlier, but I want to just hear a bit more. Is this work popular in Africa? Do families come for do Africans go for therapy? Let me just start there. Is it something that Africans are prone to, or black people don't crack?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I want to go back a little bit. I also work at a university and teach part-time.
Yes.
I teach at USIU and sometimes at Park University.
Yeah.
And these are two institutions,
Yeah.
and that's why I brought that up,
Yeah.
that have invested in time and resources in developing programs to teach family therapists,
Yes.
to train family therapists.
Yeah.
For Park University, they have been doing this for over 10 years. And at USIU, I think this is our 5th year training.
Yeah.
Why? Because of the need. The need for family work in Africa is huge.
Yeah.
One, because our traditional systems that supported the health of the family have broken down.
Yeah.
We no longer live in a little village where the aunt knew what to tell the girl before she transitioned from a child to an adolescent.
Yes.
And prepared her well enough to be able to be ready and set for life, not necessarily marriage. And especially today, because we have a lot of other single individuals who are no longer married at the age of 40 and 45, partly by choice, others because they have not found a partner.
Yeah.
And are Africans seeking help? Yes. There are places and opportunities and experiences that have brought us to an awareness of that. One is our connectivity to the world. Technology has provided us an opportunity to know that, this is called mental disorder, and this mental disorder is called depression. It's called, anxiety. It's called bipolar. It's called schizophrenia. It's no longer people are mad.
Yeah.
We have a name for it. And
Yeah.
we have identified that there's mental problems that have lived with us, just like any other disease. If you get malaria, no one laughs at you for having malaria. You can go for treatment.
Yeah.
And if you get into an accident and you're treated physically and you're told you need physiotherapy, no one laughs at you that you're going for physiotherapy. And it's the same way with mental well-being.
Yeah.
So we are discovering that. The second thing is that COVID-19 brought a great awareness of the need for
therapy. Yeah.
Thinking about the quarantine.
Yeah.
And people who would travel, come back, and I told you have to be quarantined for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Separated from family, you had been traveling, you're separated from family. Or you test positive. You're quarantined in the same house. You can't, be in the same room with your spouse who's negative, and the children and all that. And that challenged people mentally a lot.
Yeah.
The losses also.
Yeah.
The prolonged hospitalization.
Yeah.
That was accompanied by that. And remember, at this particular time, we also had social distancing. So there were less and less social connections.
Yeah.
The churches are shut down.
The churches were shut down. We couldn't go to birthdays, and we couldn't go to weddings.
Yes.
And those are really important things that bring us together.
Yes.
As
Make
Africans.
us dance and laugh.
Yeah.
And meet people and talk.
And so we were really separated from each other.
True.
And that's the net effect of that is there was strain on our mental health.
Yes.
Even at the family level.
And the World Health Organization said if we want to be healthy as nations and as families and as individuals, we don't need to only seek medical help. We also need to seek psychological help. Yeah.
Just talking a little bit about seeking psychological help. At what point do I go for psychological help? Or how do I know I need psychological help? How does a family know that they need to go and seek psychological help?
One of the places we need to begin is to know that no man is an island.
Yeah.
A few of our cultures and families have taught us to seek help. The rest of us even have sayings that call us not to seek help. There's a proverb in where I'm married that says, family issues are just for family.
They're just for the family.
They're just for the family. You don't take them outside. I think the first place for us to begin is to realize that help seeking is a positive thing.
Yeah.
And we must teach our children to seek help. We must open room for them that when they get hurt, they can come back and tell us, I have been hurt.
Yeah.
And we will have the time to pause and check where they've been hurt and console them and offer solace.
Yeah.
And that is the first place to begin to teach and train a community that help seeking is important.
Yeah.
Number 2 is to be able to create a level of self and family awareness. Self-awareness is, I am a social person. I am beginning not to be social anymore. I enjoy eating and I eat my meals consistently.
Yeah.
I have stopped eating my meals consistently and I am not fasting.
Yeah.
I have been sleeping straight up 7 hours, 8 hours.
Yeah.
I struggle to sleep.
Yeah.
I sleep and wake up in the middle of the night and I can't sleep again.
Yeah.
So all these are little factors.
Or I have the discipline to sleep at 10 and wake up at 5. But now I find more that I don't want to wake up.
Or I don't want to sleep.
Or I don't want to sleep.
The energy to work.
Yeah.
And, up to morning and I'm still okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not high on anything. Those are some of the signs of mental distress. I have hopelessness. I'm no longer optimistic about life.
Yeah.
I feel helpless.
Yeah.
I feel there's no need for life. I can't concentrate. I'm moody. I'm withdrawn from people. These are factors that tell you or tell the family that this
Yeah.
family member is not okay.
Yeah.
And one of the things I tell parents of adolescents is
Yeah.
to watch out, because adolescent behavior can mimic the mental health problems. The change of behavior, change of, withdrawal and all that. But even if an adolescent withdraws from the family, they don't withdraw from their peers. They are able to still re-engage with their peers and have, fun times with their peers and enjoy life with themselves.
Yeah.
So it is important for us to know what is going on with me as a person, but also to be involved in what is going on with each other as family members.
Yeah.
And especially family members who are living with each other, because you're the one who can tell that this person is changing. So we must resist the temptation of individualistic living, especially in family setup, because it doesn't help us to support someone who may be struggling. So when we see that a person who is struggling and it's been continuous, about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months, that change of behavior has continued and is probably getting worse. The sleep patterns are getting worse. The lack of eating now or eating too much may now result to weight gain or weight loss. And more, maybe less interest in self-care. The bathing, the taking sure that the environment where a person lives is clean, then that becomes an area of concern. Now with time, the concern moves from the family to social environment or workplaces. So work-wise, someone is not delivering their targets, they are going backwards in their way of doing things, and they're having work-related problems. They fall out of a fellowship or people that they used to hang out with.
Wow. So it's what you're saying. It's there's an importance on self-awareness. To be, take note of when things are changing in me or for me in my life. But then there's also the importance of being sensitive, the environment around us, and see what's happening to the people within our cycles, and that, so that we know when it is time to seek help.
And for example, when you talk about, it's important to see what's happening around. Those of us who probably live with an elderly person with us, we begin to realize that they are experiencing symptoms of Alzheimer's when they begin to be repetitive and forgetful. And it is you who needs to capture that. Who, someone walks in as a visitor, they have been introduced to you, they have been in for a while, they stand up and want to leave, and the elderly person says, "You are leaving. You've not even been given anything. We don't even know who you are." And they've totally forgotten what had happened. And therefore, it's important for family members living with such a person to realize, I think they are forgetting more.
I noted this actually recently with one of my grandmother's sisters. We went to visit her, and I actually went with my wife, and my brother and his wife was his fiancée at that time, and we wanted to introduce his fiancée. And after we had a conversation, we have introduced ourselves. My grandmother thought that my brother's fiancée was my wife. So she was telling me to take care of your wife and ensure she respects everyone. But I noticed a pattern. She's about what? She's in her 80s, early 80s, and she's been a little sick in the past. So I noticed there's a lot of forgetting, because at some point she was asking. She said, "This is my son's wife." Then at some point she's asking, "Who is this?" So after that, I went to her sister. I told her sister is now my grandmother there. And I told her sister, "I've noticed Dana Flora is forgetting things." And she told me, "I have noticed. I've noticed the same." What do you do apart from noticing?
It is important to, because something like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, these are degenerative diseases.
Yeah.
They are dementia. They are degenerative diseases.
Yeah.
We may not be able to do much with them.
Yeah.
But it's always good to have the elderly person have some evaluation and assessment, because some of these habits can lead to danger.
They can put them...
Yeah, they can put them at risk.
Yeah.
Risk of trusting strangers, risk of self-harm, and all this.
Yeah.
So there is need for medical attention.
Yeah.
Secondly, there is need for awareness for the family to know this is what is going on with our individual or our family member, and we need to provide better care.
Yeah.
I remember personally, at some point, my grandmother, before she passed on, she had dementia. And one time, she was found in the neighborhood naked, like in a petticoat.
Yeah.
And it's a very cold environment.
Yeah.
Therefore, people who recognized her and got to know her took her back home.
Yeah.
You see, now that brought an awareness in the family that we need to secure the family.
Secure the family. We need
to, ensure there's fencing and there's a gate and it is locked through the night so that she doesn't wander away and walk away in the night and, is in danger of being harmed in any way. So there is a sense of medical support. There is the social support and the physical environment structure that is created in a way to support their well-being. Old people are not children. We mistake that and we say, oh, they go back to childhood. No, they don't. Their physical ability degenerates with time, but they understand respect and personal space, which children don't.
Children have little boundaries.
They have had meaning and significance in their lives through what they did. But also some of them have income, which sometimes as family we abuse and use without their permission. So we need to be careful that we are respecting these senior citizens, even at their age, because when all those things are put together, the financial abuse and all those, neglect and physical abuse, when they are all put together, they even make the degenerative illnesses worse.
Yeah. Wow. You've spoken about abuse, and I want to come to abuse shortly, but you're talking about, or rather we were talking about at what point does a family know they need to go for therapy, and you mentioned quite a few things to look out for, but I also want to ask, do you think would you recommend or propose that therapy become a norm, so that we don't wait until we are fighting and this
killing each other.
We are killing each other, or until what we are fighting about gets out of our hands, that we we need to seek help. Do you think I can take my brothers and my sisters and just go for therapy, and meet with and come to Farm Hope and just have conversations with you without us having reason to, or rather,
a big reason
to, until we are fighting. We don't have to wait until we are really fighting and we can't solve the problem that we come to you.
Yes, I believe so. Therapy has three reasons why people seek therapy. One is preventative. We go for therapy to prevent a problem. That's why we have, the church that you and I serve in, the family church, has what we talk about premarital counseling, LAIR, and all these, programs. They are preventative programs. They're saying, come, we help you, give you a bit of skill and knowledge over what marriage looks like, over what parenting looks like, so that you have better understanding of what it is that you're doing. So we can do preventative. And preventative can be done at the point of knowing that, like with premarital, is like I'm getting married. You and your wife, as when that time comes and a baby is coming, you can be able to say, let's go and talk about our families of origin and what it is that we will do. that will help us to bring up our child well. I like what the programs, like Leah does, but there is a place of therapy in addition to that.
Yeah.
Even premarital,
Yeah.
there's a place for PMCC, and there's a place for Farm Hope to step in and say, you have done this, but we want to do a few assessments. We want to talk about your sexual your sexual history. And sexual family history. We want to sit down and draw a genogram for your both of your families and say,
what's a genogram in English?
A family tree from a marriage and family therapy perspective is called a genogram.
It's a family tree.
It's a family tree, but it's not drawn the way a family tree, a typical family tree is. It's drawn with, lines to show. It shows relationships. It shows illnesses within families. It shows death and births and abortions, and it's a one-stop picture of what a family looks like. So we are able to look at that and say, hey, with your family on the side of your mother, there have been several broken relationships, divorces. With the family of the side of your father, there is diabetes and blood pressure. So we are able to look at both relational, mental health, medical health aspects, and be able to say, can we watch out for this? Because they are part of what is happening in your generational. It's been passed on in one generation. Some of it, like medical issues, could be generic. Or hereditary. And therefore, it's important for you to be able to attend to them. But some of them is decisions, poor decisions. And when we look at some cultures in this community, in Kenya, that are very chauvinistic, when you draw genograms in some of those communities, you realize that marriage is not working. You draw and you're like, every sibling is in their second marriage. And sometimes as you do that with clients, even them, they are amazed. They were like, oh my goodness, I had not noticed this.
So it helps you to know that it did not start with you. There is a pattern.
There's a pattern, and therefore we can prevent.
And therefore you can prevent.
So we can do that to prevent. We can do that to understand ourselves and to prevent. Secondly, we can intervene. And I think we are very quick to intervene. We are quick to seek therapy for intervention. For example, my brother is in addiction. Or we've just started realizing he's now selling things in the house. You can't leave your handbag, you can't leave your wallet because or your phone, because it will go and it will be sold, and it will, the money will be used to buy something. By the way, we say when one family member is sick, the whole family is sick. That one is the identified patient. The rest are patients who don't know they are patients. So we seek to treat the whole family, even if the issue is with one.
With one person.
Because there is a role the family members are playing in maintaining and probably in the development of the problem. And therefore, especially if it is a child, if you only bring a child here for therapy and they're having conduct disorders or they're having a problem in school, that won't solve the problem. Because the one session of 1 hour or 2 hours that I may have with that child is not significant enough to bring about change. And unfortunately, therapy is not the one-stop shop where you just buy this one tablet and you're done for life.
It's not,
It depends on what issues are surrounding that one issue. So that is preventative. But then now, if we are talking about this individual, we need rehabilitation, especially if the addiction has gotten deep. We need them in a residential place where maybe detox can be done and where they can be able to be totally rehabilitated. If we have a child or family therapy is very helpful even in children's homes because there's a new family that these children have come to create. And we want to rehabilitate them to trust where abuse was. We want to rehabilitate them to be able to know they are valuable individuals in life and they can be able to be supported through life with the resources and by the individuals that have come. So therapy can be preventative. So the family can come to prevent. Families can come to intervene when there is an issue with a family member, but also families can come to rehabilitate. And a number of, when I was training, I worked in a rehab, and a number of rehabs have provided an opportunity for family support days where we sit with family members and psychoeducate them. We educate them about what is going on in this family. What roles do family members play? There's one that plays who's called an enabler. They're always enabling and facilitating to ensure that the addict continues to be an addict. And yet they don't know that they're enabling. So when we provide that education, then they are able to also stop.
Just 2 words, 2 or 3 words on that. What are some of the ways we enable, we create an enabling environment in the family to perpetuate an addiction, or not even an addiction, a pattern that is not healthy. And you don't even know you are enabling. What are some of the things we do, knowingly or unknowingly, that are enabling?
Enabling roles are different based on what you're enabling. So if it's addiction, there's a person who shields an addict from taking personal responsibility. That could be an enabler. There's a person who provides the resources without the person working hard enough or pushing them hard enough to sustain that. Some of the roles family members, some of the things family members do to create that enabling ability is they use their personal interests. Like, I want my child to love me. So I give them all the money.
Give them everything they want.
So it's not about the child. It's about me.
So I'm trying to buy my child's love.
I don't see it that way. I am trying to be closer. So let me do this. This is the only way that I can do this for them to feel that I am closest to them. The other thing is we speak on behalf of people. Which is one, by the way, assessment we try to have in a family therapy session. Every person needs to be taught to speak for themselves. But family members, some of them feel they have a right to speak for some people. And sometimes it could be a couple. You're seated there, you ask your dad, so how are you doing? And your mother says, oh, we are all well.
We are all well.
And shuts this person and shuts this person.
Or dad is not answering and someone says, that mom takes over, or someone in the group says, dad anakuanga tu hivyo.
Yes. So we either mind read or we speak on behalf. We say, okay, let me speak for them. I think what they would have said, that's mind reading. I really don't know what they would have said. So sometimes we take roles that are not ours to cover up gaps. Sometimes we don't like silence. So we want to cover up gaps very quickly. Or we don't want shame. And therefore, what an addictive brother will speak will be embarrassing. So let me speak on their behalf. Maybe they will be too open and say everything that we are not supposed to be saying. So let me speak on their behalf. And when we speak on other people's behalf, we are actually enabling some bad habit because they are not taking responsibility for choices that they make.
Wow. You are a Christian.
Yes.
In fact, a pastor's wife.
Yes.
And you're doing family therapy.
Teach it.
And you teach it. You teach family therapy, and you're building more and more marriage and family therapists. But I've had, and I've come from places where I think Christians should pray through everything. You know, so why do Christians need therapy? I mean, we can pray, and with God everything is possible. So speak a little bit into.
And as I speak into that, I want to go back to my personal training. My first degree is in theology.
Yes.
And I was trained and commissioned to pastoral work.
Yes.
And we began the work with Pastor Goi in Mashariki.
Yeah, with the Mavuno, Mashariki Chapel. It was Mashariki Chapel then.
Yes, it was Mashariki Church. And it was during those periods of working in Eastlands that helped me realize my theological training was good, great, but not good enough.
Yeah.
And I remember having to work with some young people who were dealing with addiction. We were working with families that had a web of issues. A web of issues that were moved from one generation to the next.
Yeah.
And I remember telling my boss at that time, I told him, I think when I'm done with this, I just need to go back to school and do psychology.
Yeah.
Because I believe God has spoken to us through two major ways. Actually three, if we talk about Jesus. But the other two major ways are the general revelation and specific revelation. Specific revelation is Jesus and the Bible.
Yeah.
But general revelation is everything else that we see, from science to anthropology to astrology to medicine to psychology. And psychology is a study of not the human mind anymore. It's a study of human behavior, thought patterns, and emotional feelings, and how they affect the interpersonal and intrapersonal relationships. How do we understand a human being? We understand how a human being thinks, makes decisions, by understanding psychology. Theology helps us to understand the human heart. But psychology helps us to understand the human mind and intentions. And we can be able to control, to predict, and to answer questions, and even to prevent pain and hurt that is unnecessary in human behavior. We can be able to see, if our children are exposed to so much vulgar and violence, both in the family and on media, that we are creating a culture of people who are violent. We understand some of these things through psychology. And even a Christian, because we may be in this world and we live in this world, but not of this world. We still need tools to live in this world. That's why you need financial management skills.
Absolutely.
Because you need money. And you need to understand how money works. You need psychology to understand how to relate with me, how to relate with your wife, how you relate with your children, and with the people you work with.
Absolutely. I've never really had it explained that clearly and nicely as you have explained it. Theology deals with the heart. Psychology deals with the mind. And so you can pray, and you need to pray as a Christian. And prayer is powerful. And prayer moves mountains, as it were. But you can also seek psychological help. Because you are an emotional being as well. And there are things in your emotions, there are things in your history, there are things in your family patterns that influence or affect or impact the way you behave.
And they don't fight.
That's
what I say. They don't fight. They have never fought.
Yeah.
When you want one to win over the other, then they will fight. But if you know that they are cousins and sisters and they need to live together and coexist, they don't fight. In fact, in some perspectives, we do what is called integration, and especially in marriage and family therapy. In marriage and family therapy, we take a perspective that is called biopsychosocial-spiritual.
Biopsychosocial-spiritual.
We take a biological perspective because some issues deal with mental disorders or sexual dysfunctions. Some of these issues are biological. It's either your body that has changed or your mental, chemical patterns that have changed your
Yeah.
body, and therefore you have either a thinking or a behavioral or an emotional problem.
Yeah.
It is psychological.
Yeah.
Yeah, it affects how you feel, how you relate with
Yeah.
yourself and with others.
Yeah.
It's social.
Yeah.
It has impact.
Yeah.
How I feel and how I am today affects my children,
Yeah.
affect my husband, affect my family.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is also spiritual. You can't leave out the spirituality part, because we say spirituality can be a resource or a source of problem.
Yeah.
A resource in that when I worked at the rehab, we used the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous appreciate spirituality, not necessarily God.
Yeah. Yeah.
It appreciates.
They
And the
say
first
higher power.
steps, and the first step says that every client needs to come to a place of saying, I am powerless to my addiction, and I acknowledge that I need the higher power to actually support me through this addiction. So there's a recognition of that and an awareness of that. I have seen clients who have walked through the integration of spirituality and psychological support. They have always come out successfully. Those who've been able to integrate that.
Yeah.
Because remember, also spirituality gives us the meaning and purpose for our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
reason you're alive
Exactly.
and you will not want to kill yourself tomorrow is because you have purpose.
Yeah.
And no one else can give you purpose apart from God.
Apart from God.
Yeah.
Wow. I want us to come back,
Yeah.
because we're barely scratching the surface here. But I also want us to end this episode here.
Yeah.
You will tell us again and again how we can find you, how we can reach you.
Yeah.
But just tell us a little bit, how do we connect with you? Are you on social media? Do you have a website? Where are you located in this beautiful country or city of ours? But you're not. This is not Nairobi.
No, this is
Not in
Kiambu.
Nairobi. This is Kiambu
This is
County.
Kiambu County.
This is Kiambu
Yes.
County. Yeah. So how do we reach Farm Hope?
Okay.
Yeah.
Farm Hope is on various is on social media.
Yeah.
We have a Facebook page
Yes.
called Farm Hope, and we also have a website.
Yeah.
You find us there. I think it's farmhope.org.
.org. Yes.
And then we have numbers. We have several numbers.
Yeah.
We have Airtel line and
Yeah.
a Safcom line.
Those will be running.
Yes.
Will be running on your screen.
Yes.
They'll be running on your screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are situated at Membley on the Eastern Bypass.
On Eastern Bypass.
Yes, and it's on Google Maps.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Actually, that's how I found my way here.
Yes.
I went on Google Maps.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. You're still going to be with us for the next episode. I'm really excited to have Pastor Marion. I will call you Dr. Marion.
That title is yet to come.
Oh, it is yet to come.
Yes.
So I'm speaking prophetically.
You're speaking prophetically, but the academicians may not be kind
Academician
with
may
you.
not be kind with me. She's God's doctor. that shuts out the academicians. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Healing for the Family. It was such a joy to have you. We'll see you again in the next episode.